Well, you probably guessed it. We cannot get through September without talking about Inktober coming up in October. So today is the video where I tell you my plans for Inktober this year. I have participated in Inktober for the last 3 years, and things this year are going to be the same, but kind of different. So for Inktober this year, I was kind of a bad girl and I may have broke my buying freeze, but we're going to talk about that more in the next video. So make sure you're subscribed down below if you don't want to miss me failing at something. Yeah. Well, anyway, Inktober. Let's talk about Inktober over here. So I have participated in Inktober for the last 3 years. And the first 2 years, by the way, before we get into this, I do have an Inktober playlist that I will link up in the corner for you because all the information in all of those Inktober videos is still absolutely applicable to this year's Inktober. So definitely go check those out. The information in there is stellar, and it does show all this stuff that I'm going to show you today very briefly in a lot more detail. So check out those videos. All right, so this is the book that I bought for Inktober for the first year. It is a Stillman & Byrne Epsilon series sketchbook, and it's great. I loved it. And I did a theme that year, which was all motorcycles. And so the entire year of sketches did the prompt words, but with motorcycle as the background theme. And then in 2019, I liked this sketchbook so much. I had, I think, 20 pages left in this sketchbook, and I wanted to use them. So I bought another one exactly the same. I took 11 pages out of it or so. This is all detailed in that Inktober playlist I've already linked for you. Added pages into here, and so I am also able to have the 2019 Inktober list drawings in this same sketchbook. And you can see by flipping through really quick that my theme was classic cars and trucks, and that was really fun. So then the next year I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I already did my 2 favorite things, right? Motorcycles and classic cars and trucks. So I wasn't sure what to do. Wasn't even sure I was going to do Inktober because there was controversy. I didn't know this and that, but I decided I couldn't not do it because it's a challenge and I love challenges and I wanted to do it. So I did it a little bit differently. I did Bristol paper and I did it loose leaf. So these are just sheets of Bristol paper that I cut into fourths. There was no specific theme this year, and I just did the words as they came to me, some ideas for that. And you can see that I used color this year, at least in some of them, because I needed color in my life at that time, and I think that was awesome. So I just put them in this album here to hold the individual sheets. So this year, what I'm doing, I mentioned that I broke my buying freeze for that. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I watch Catvalk videos. I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's Kattvalk. I will link her YouTube channel down in the description box below because she is one of my favorite YouTube artists. I really enjoy her work. I enjoy her, I don't know, personality. And she did these coloring pages as part of like an Inktober in case you can't draw or don't feel like you can draw but you want to participate and do something every day. They put together, Viviva put together these postcards that you can paint. So the line work and drawings already done for you and you can participate in that. And I thought, oh my gosh, all these artists have their stuff in this postcard collection. I have to have it. So when I went over there, I did see the big Inktober collection. It came with a couple of sketchbooks. And then Viviva came out with some new watercolor pan paint, and I was like, I want to try that. I have, in the past, given away my Viviva color sheets. Now, unfortunately, though, their big Inktober collection didn't come with the postcards. What's up with that? I mean, I wanted the whole thing, right? The whole kit and caboodle. Well, anyway, we're supposed to talk about this later. So what I'm doing is I'm using the Inktober bundle sketchbook, which hasn't come yet. And this is so bad because I'm leaving town for 10 to 11 days tomorrow. Okay, and I'm actually recording this on September 15th. And I've already been out of town 8 days in September. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to take with me to kind of prepare for Inktober because I'm also going to be gone 10 to 11 days in October for sure, and probably some others that I don't even know about yet. I'm counting on 3 more because we do this motorcycle dual sport fall ride every year, and it's like 3 to 4 days, so usually 3 days. Anyway, gone half the month. I don't recommend doing Inktober when you're gone half the month, but I have a plan. So my original plan for this was, because the sketchbook that I ordered comes with 40 pages, which leaves 9 extra pages to work on, I was just going to do all my prep, thumbnail prep, and all of that in the sketchbook itself. Well, now I have to leave town, and I don't have it yet. Viviva is a very small company. They can only ship 100 orders a day. They got over 1,200 orders, I believe, for this bundle and accessories. So what I have done is made my own little thing here to take with me. I did not have a sketchbook. Can you believe that? In that big sketchbook tour I just did, I don't have a sketchbook that I wanted to take with me. First of all, I wanted it to be thin. Second of all, I needed my sketch area to kind of match what the sketchbook is going to be when it comes. And the sketchbook is 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches. So I have simply taken printer paper out of my printer, cut it to 7.5 by 7.5, used a corner rounder because I like cornered rounded? Because I like my rounded corners, and that's going to be what the sketchbook is like too. And you can see here, I tried to staple it, but I have just a regular house stapler. It's actually even kind of a heavy duty house stapler. It wouldn't work. I tried stepping on it real slow. I tried stomping on it, and it didn't work, and I don't care. So instead, I will take these clips, and this might actually work out better because with the stapler, I would have to flip the pages over to do the sketch. And now when I want to work on the next sketch, I can unclip these and just slip the pages behind each other and have the one that I'm working on up front without anything bent over. And so to work on it, I'll just clip these and leave that one up. And I actually think this is going to work better. So I'll slip this, and I'm going to bring 2 pencils just in case one breaks because I don't have easy access to that. So just pencils and an eraser, probably a smaller one than this. Stick them in a Ziploc bag because who knows what kind of weather and exposure we might have, and pull it out and work on these sketches as often as I possibly can. So what I have done to prep for Inktober so far is this. I printed it out in the size that I could paste it in the sketchbook here, and then time went by, lots of weeks went by, I didn't receive my order, so I ended up kind of folding this and taking it on several trips with me. Like I told you, I've already been gone 8 days in September, 2 different trips, and on the back I wrote the prompts again with some ideas about what I might do that month, because if you don't have a plan in Inktober, unless you're home all the time with nothing else to do, it's not really doable in my opinion. You have to use September as planning in order to be able to get this done. And even then, it's still challenging, and especially me. I'm always gone in October. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know. I can't help myself. But anyway, I was trying to come up with themes again because the theme idea, I just really like that in the original 2 years sketchbook. Just having the theme throughout the whole thing, I just loved it. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what about pictures I've taken myself or camping? Those are 2 things. Well, camping is something I love. Pictures I've taken myself, whatever. But at least it would be photo references that I know and have ownership of. And I thought that'd be really cool. So then I started to go through here and write down all my ideas for pictures that I've taken. And you can see how blank some of these are. And with that idea, I started to lose my motivation to do Inktober. And trust me, if you're gonna do any month-long challenge, you have to feel excited about it. And I was losing that big time. But you see here, I have put a cat in every picture, and that kept me up all night last night because I'm thinking, yeah, I want to do a cat, but I don't want to do pictures I've taken myself. So I'm going to try and come up with my own original character, kitty cat, and make this character work for every prompt here. And that gets me excited and motivated to do Inktober. That's the plan. So once I get these sketches all good and great, I'll transfer them if I get my sketchbook, when I get my sketchbook, because it's watercolor paper, 100% cotton, the one coming. transfer those so that I don't have to do all the erasing and stuff on my fancy watercolor paper. I can just take care of that here. Maybe on this 10-day trip, cross your fingers that I get a lot done. Goodness, I hope so. And I want to do watercolor because it comes with watercolor, and then I thought it would be a good opportunity to also try and use up the Himi Mia paint a little bit more since it's going to be in a sketchbook. It doesn't matter if it's very light, fast, kind of. I'll also scan them and maybe do that. But I also have this. This entire bag of fine liners. This is actually one of the most fun reasons for me to do Inktober because I don't get to pull out all these fine liners except in the month of Inktober. You know, once in a while, I always have one fine liner like this one, a 05 usually, or something like a Faber-Castell F for fine, or my Micron PN. I always have one of those off with my regular art supplies that I use every day because I will use it to mark papers, sign papers, date papers. Once in a while I do a fine liner on a painting, but I think I've only done that like once in the last year. But so I don't get to use these, and Inktober is the time I get to use these. It just makes me so happy because they don't get used, all these goodies. So the whole point of Inktober is to practice your inking skills. That's the whole thing. Okay, and that's fine. I did that the first 2 years. I hardly used color at all. I just practiced my inking skills and did all my fine liners and all of that. But I'm a watercolor artist at heart, and I'm going to do my watercolor, but I am going to practice my inking skills on those pieces, especially since I'm so excited they're going to be more cartoon-like, and this is the kind of art that I've been dying to create, and I really hope it goes well for me. Well, wish me luck, okay? So in addition, I do have the inks that I've received in subscription boxes here, and my fountain pen, and sometimes they're fun to use because you just get tired of using the same thing over and over, and I never use these very much otherwise, so it's a good opportunity to pull these out as well. And it's ink, so it counts, right? There's also, I have Marabou graphics ink over there on the shelf that I could use in fountain pens or on their own or whatever. So I'm not sticking myself to any one supply as far as the watercolors that I'm using or the fine liners. But now that I have my plan, I'm actually really looking forward to it. Again, check out that Inktober playlist that I've already linked over there for you. I hope you find it interesting. It's some of my most favorite work ever, and that's why another reason that I really like doing Inktober. It makes you create stuff you might not otherwise. Well, I am off on another adventure. You guys, I will see you in next week's video. As I have service, I will try to respond to your comments. So you've probably noticed the last 2 videos I've been like 4 days late in responding to comments because I have no service where I've been going. So I have no idea how this trip is going to be for 10 days. But if you don't hear from me for several days after you've made a comment, don't worry, I am thinking of you guys, and I will respond as soon as possible. All right, subscribe if you don't want to miss this crazy journey. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. P.S. This is the little bag I have taken on my last 2 trips, the 8 days I've been gone. And this pencil is the one that I want to put in the Ziploc with this little sketch pad that I created because it goes to a blunt edge. I've shown this to you guys so many times, but it won't poke through my Ziploc. However, I'm very nervous to go on such a long trip with just one pencil. So I'd like to bring this one as well. I need to check that these actually have a good amount of lead in them, or graphite, or whatever you want to call it. But this one has a super sharp thing, and all of the rest of my mechanical pencils also have this really sharp edge. So what I'm thinking is maybe taking some of my kneaded eraser, I have one that's open over there somewhere, and like just sticking on the edge of this, and I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. This is my more long-term art kit when I have more space. Anyway, taking a little bit of my kneaded eraser, and maybe having some of that. Oh, here's the little eraser I want to take with me too, because I like that one. Just as, it's the same thing as this, but smaller, so I'm going to take this eraser with me. Anyway, grabbing some of this kneaded eraser, and this might even be too much, but kind of just pushing that over the edge of that pencil so I can take that pencil and it won't poke through the Ziploc bag. Well, that's it. That's all for the Inktober prep. I am going to take this watercolor bag though, because what if I want color in my life again in the next 10 days without anything bent over. Wow. It's going to be hard to sketch when we're moving a lot, but we'll see. Anyway, What was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. And it makes me so much happier. Wait, not happier.